Things right off news-wise, we do have new small bits of information about Cyberpunk 2077. Thanks to some interviews some developers have done. I've linked multiple sources down in the description. Just little bits here and there pulled from the interviews do make for some new interesting information. Most notably, they have once again doubled down on their decision to make this a first-person game, saying specifically it's an RPG first shoot. The Cyberpunk 2077's Twitter, we do have little bits of info on stats and attributes. Apparently those can be raised by leveling up and installing body cyberware, and then skills are raised by performing certain actions like hacking or crafting or using short or long guns. And then there's also perks that are unlocked both with the street cred stat and XP. Along with that, we also have confirmation of all the different languages in the game, of both the actual languages supported and the subtitles. And not only that, we do have new perspectives from some of the writers with some interesting stuff in terms of how they're approaching the enemies, most notably the gangs in the game, and how they don't want them to come off like comic book villains. They're going to have real motivations in this society. And they used, for an example, the cyber gang, taking on a massive amount of cybernetics, not just because they're like crazy, insane villains, but because they have actual motivations in the game world. They also did acknowledge that the game is going to be and acknowledge political subjects because the cyberpunk world is inherently political. So stating that it might be a good idea for them to leverage their long-standing library of properties that already exist and boost earnings, of course, by making these reboots and remakes. What seemingly might be the deciding factor, especially in terms of actual remaking of classic games, is Resident Evil 2 that's dropping in the fall. Now, I think this is both good news and bad news for a lot of folks out there. They want new original IP, they're sick of HD remasters and stuff like that. But on the flip side, me personally, I like full remakes. Like this Resident Evil 2 remake has me excited beyond belief because I love the old game and I want to both experience it again, but maybe see. But apparently they're paying upwards of like $10 to $20 per hour for multiple hours, like 4 or 5 hours, for their kids to get better at Fortnite, with one parent going on the record saying that now their 12-year-old child is racking up 10 to 20 wins. We see stories like this all the time with the rise of like a new sport or a new board game or a new anything. So Fortnite is really no surprise in that regard, but it just goes to show how crazy things have gotten with this damn game. Theme marketplace that costs money. It's called Abstractivism, and if you bought it and played this little abstract platformer style game, the game itself would actually install cryptocurrency mining software on your computer without you knowing. Which is just insane and shitty and really ballsy, especially considering they are charging for the game. But I think it's really unbelievable. So far, it does still sound pretty good. It does confirm some of my suspicions that I had when I played the E3 demo. But one of the best breakdowns, I think, we've linked it in the description below. Also, on the topic of linking videos, we also linked a new trailer if you are curious for Call of Duty Black Ops multiplayer, which at the end does show a tease for their Battle Royale mode, if that's up your alley. Oh, and also there is a teaser trailer out for Life is Strange 2 with more info coming soon, and it's surprisingly awesome. Is that according to the data, God of War is actually the fastest selling PlayStation exclusive since 1995 when they started tracking these numbers. Not only that, we do have some info about sales data behind Nintendo Switch. Apparently they have 19 million out in the wild. Sales are slightly slowing, but they're still selling really consistently, and the thing is becoming a trilogy, which is dropping soon. Has been confirmed to only have the first game on the disc, and then the next 2 games are going to be downloaded. Activision has defended this as just like, oh, every game has like a big ass update these days, day one. But considering it's the actual games themselves, some people are a little disappointed, especially people that like to own physical copies of games. Not to mention people that just have crappy internet. If it bothers you, or if you think it's just kind of lame, I completely get it. I also think you should stay aware of what is becoming an all streaming, all digital future, whether we like it or not, or whether or not our infrastructure